Once upon a time, there lived in a certain village a little country girl, the prettiest creature who was ever seen. Her grandmother was excessively fond of her, and her grandmother doted on her still more. This good woman had a little red riding hood made for her. It suited the girls extremely well that everybody called her Little Red Riding Hood. One day, her mother, having made some cakes, said to her,
"Go, my dear, and see your grandmother is gone, for I hear she has been very ill. Take her a cookie, and this light pot of butter."
Little Red Riding Hood set out immediately to go to her grandmother, who lived in another village. As she was going through the wood, she met with a wolf, who had a very great mind to eat her up, but he dared not because of some woodcutters working nearby in the forest. He asked her where she was going. The poor child, who didn't know that it was dangerous to stay inside the wood, said to him,
"I am going to save my grandmother and carry in a cake and a little pot of butter from my mother."
"Does she live far off?"
said the wolf.
"Oh, I say,"
answered Little Red Riding Hood.
"is beyond that me to say there at the first house in the village,"
said the wolf.
"Where? And I go and seek him too. I go this way and go you that, and we shall see what might be the price."
The wolf ran as fast as he could, taking the shortest path, and the little girl took a roundabout way, entertaining herself by gathering nuts, running after butterflies, and gathering bouquets of little flowers. It was not long before the wolf arrived at the old woman's house. He knocked at the door.
Who's there?
"My child, in a right riding hood," replied the wolf, contracting her voice.
"Let's go, okay, a little pot of butter sent in my mother."
The good grandmother, who was in bed because she was somewhat ill, cried out,
Hold the bobbin and the lash will go up.
The wolf pulled the bobbin and the door opened, and then he immediately flew upon the good woman and ate her up in a moment. For it had been more than 3 days since he had eaten. He then shut the door and go into the grandmother's bed, expecting a Little Red Riding Hood, who came some time afterwards and knocked at the door.
Who's there?
Little Red Riding Hood, hearing the big voice of the wolf, was at first afraid, but believing her grandmother had a cold and was worse, answered,
"Is your grandchildren Little Red Riding Hood, who has brought you a cake and a little pot of butter, brother, since you?"
The wolf cried out to her, softening his voice as much as he could.
Pull the bobbin and the lights will go up.
Little Red Riding Hood pulled the bobbin and the door opened. The wolf, seeing her come in, said to her, hiding himself under the bedclothes,
Put a cake and the little pot of butter upon the stone, and the cabbage into bed with me.
Little Red Riding Hood take off her clothes and go into bed. She was greatly amazed to see how her grandmother looked in her new clothes, and said to her,
"Grandmother, what big arms you have!"
The better to go with my dear.
"Grandmother, what big legs you have!"
And the better to run with my child.
"Grandmother, what ears you have!"
And the better to her with my child.
grandmother, what big eyes you have.
All the better to see by my child.
Grandmother, what big teeth you have got.
All the better to eat you with.
Suddenly, he laid down a woodcutter and said,
That big word, something happened. I'm going to take that egg.
It's true, and also I don't see Granny.
and that's where the woodcutter discovered the reality of little Red Riding Hood and her grandmother's disappearance. And taking the axe with his hand, he threw himself against the wolf while he was sleeping, and this way opening